Hello everyone, my name is Smith Desai and today we are going to learn about how to prepare benzylic acid from benzyl. So the aim of today's experiment is to synthesize benzylic acid from benzyl. To perform today's experiment, the following apparatus are required in this organic synthesis. We require a conical flask, then a round bottom flask, a reflux condenser, a beaker, a pipette, a glass rod and a Buchner funnel. Before we start today's experiment, we have to wash all our apparatus with the distilled water and we have to confirm that all the apparatus must be dried to perform the organic synthesis. The chemical reagents used in the process of synthesis of the benzylic acid are benzyl, potassium hydroxide, ethanol, water and concentrated hydrochloric acid. The reaction of this synthesis is as follows. Benzyl is a 1,2-diketo compound attached with a 2-phenyl ring. When benzyl reacts with potassium hydroxide, potassium salt of benzylic acid is formed and that salt, when acidified with hydrochloric acid, benzylic acid is formed. The mechanism of the above reaction is as follows. Here the lone pair of the oxygen of the potassium hydroxide act as a nucleophile and it attacks on the carbonyl carbon of the benzyl ring which act as an electrophile. Thus an electron transfer takes place between the benzyl and the potassium hydroxide and there is an intramolecular transfer between the benzyl. Thus a phenyl ring from position 1 gets rearranged onto the second position and an intermediate is formed. This intermediate gets converted into the potassium benzylate which on hydrolysis or acidification yields the benzylic acid. The principle behind the formation of the benzylic acid is when benzene treated with the hydroxide ion, a molecular rearrangement takes place at the 1,2-diketone position which forms the potassium salt of the alpha hydroxy acid which on acidification yields benzylic acid. Thus the molecular rearrangement of a phenyl ring takes place between first and second diketone position which forms the potassium salt of benzylic acid which on acidification yields the benzylic acid. Now we will move towards the procedure for the synthesis of the benzylic acid. First of all, 70 ml water is taken into a beaker and it is heated on a hot plate. In that 35 gram of the potassium hydroxide is added and then it is cooled to a room temperature and is added into a round bottom flask. In that solution, 35 gram of the benzyl and 90 ml of the ethanol is added into it. The color of the resulting solution will become blue. Attach a reflux condenser with the round bottom flask for approximately 10 to 15 minutes till the blue color of the solution disappears. Pour the content of the flask into a porcelain dish and allow it to cool on the ice. Then filter the crystals of the potassium benzylate with the help of the Buchner funnel. Dissolve the solid in 350 ml of the hot water and into that slowly add the hydrochloric acid. By addition of the hydrochloric acid, crystals of the benzylic acid is formed which is to be recrystallized with the help of the hot benzene approximately 6 ml per gram. Before we start any organic synthesis, it is very important to know the material safety datasheet of each and every reagent which we have used in the synthesis. Material safety datasheet gives us the idea about how hazardous the reagents are and what precautionary measures should be taken while handling them. So now let us see one by one the material safety datasheet of each and every reagent which we have used in this experiment. Benzyl is hazardous in nature when it comes in contact with the skin, eye or when inhaled into the lungs. Benzyl is toxic when it comes in contact with the skin. Prolonged exposure of benzyl can produce targeted organ damage. If benzene falls onto the skin, then wash the skin with the tap water or with the running water and always wear gloves while handling or while using the benzene. Ethanol is also hazardous in nature when it comes in contact with the skin or with the eye. It may produce mutagenic effect for the mammalian somatic cells. Potassium hydroxide causes several skin burns and eye damages. It is harmful when swallowed. Potassium hydroxide may be irritating to the mucous membrane or to the upper respiratory tract. It may be harmful by inhalation or by skin absorption and it may cause eye, skin or respiratory system irritation. Hydrochloric acid is very hazardous in case of skin contact, eye contact or when ingested. It is slightly hazardous in case of the inhalation. Liquid or spray mist may produce tissue damage, particularly in mucous membrane of eyes, mouth and respiratory tract. Skin contact may produce burns. Inhalation of the spray or mist may produce several irritation of the respiratory tract characterized by coughing, choking or shortness of the breath. Severe overexposure can result in death. Inflammation of the eye is characterized by redness, watering and itching. Skin inflammation is characterized by itching, scaling, reddening or occasional blistering. So if hydrochloric acid falls onto the skin, please wash your hand with water and special care must be taken while using or while handling the hydrochloric acid. Now we will move towards the last part of our experiment, and that is calculation. Calculation has mainly two steps. In the first step, we have to find out the value of the theoretical yield. To find out the theoretical yield, we require the molecular weight of the benzyl and the molecular weight of the benzylic acid. The molecular weight of the benzyl is 210.23 gram per mole and the molecular weight of the benzylic acid is 228 gram per mole. To find out the theoretical yield, if 210.23 gram of the benzyl forms 228 gram of the benzylic acid, therefore 35 gram of the benzyl which we have used in the experiment will form how many gram of the benzylic acid? So therefore 35 into 228 divided by 210.23, which is equal to 37.9 gram. The theoretical yield of the practical is 37.9 gram. The second step of the calculation is to find out the practical yield. Practical yield is the final weight of the compound which we obtained at the end of the experiment after recrystallization and proper drying of the compound. The weight of that product which we obtained at the end of the experiment is the practical yield of the experiment. Now, to find out the percentage yield of the experiment, simply we have to divide the practical yield with the theoretical yield and multiply it with the 100. The percentage which we get is the final answer of the experiment. If you guys have any queries, please put it in the comment box. I'll surely answer it. Thank you very much for watching my video.